The sitting arrangement in the hall today is very spaced apart. That is to ensure that we follow the COVID-19 protocols. We may not see the hall filled up to the brim today because invitations to this event has been restricted to comply with the COVID-19 protocols. All the same, the program promises to be a very special one because today what we are actually celebrating is success of a project this symbol on the silent Imam is also here represented this morning by the Deputy Chief Imam of Borno. Of course, we're expecting the leadership of the FAO in Nigeria and West Africa. We're expecting the country director of the World Food Program. We're expecting the country director of UN Women. And so also the European Head of Cooperation, Mrs. Tassin Pulsar, will be joining us virtually in the course of the program. We have a very big lineup here today, and I want to assure you that there will be no dull moment as we celebrate this success of the project that has been tied to restoring and promoting sustainable agriculture-based livelihoods for food security, employment, and nutrition improvement in Borno State. Having said that, I'd like to once again welcome you to the hall. I want to assure you that we shall not unnecessarily take too much of your time. Once the special guest of honor is here, the program will commence. And I'd like to invite you to come to the high table, the former Honorable Minister of State Agriculture, Nigeria, our own Alaji Bukar Tijani, who is a very well-known personality in food security and agriculture in Nigeria, having consulting for so many agricultural-related organizations. Of course, you also remember him in his stint at BOSAP and thereafter at NISAP. And it is my pleasure to invite him to the high table. As soon as other members of the high table arrive, we will be inviting them and asking them to take their seats before the arrival of the special guest of honor. Once again, I'd like to welcome all of you and to thank you for your time. It promises to be a very exciting event. In the meantime, my friends, the police band, are here. Thank you very much, members of the police band. While the police who are entertaining us with music. We have joining us in the hall the FAO representative in Nigeria and to ECOWAS, Mr. Fred Kafiro. Can we please welcome him with a round of applause? Thank you, Mr. Kafiro. You are welcome. And is accompanied into this occasion by the head of office of the FAO Northeast, Al-Hassan Sise. Al-Hassan Sise, you are welcome. I'd like to recognize members of the Borno State Executive Council that have been here with us in the hall, waiting for this occasion to kickstart. I'd like to recognize Alaji Walaman, the Honorable Commissioner Animal Resources and Fisheries Development. So also the leader of the Borno State House of Assembly, Honorable Billy Mohammed, is here to represent the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly. I also like to recognize Ms. Comfort Lamche, representative of UN Women to Nigeria and ECOWAS. Also in the hall, we have the Honorable Commissioner for Poverty Alleviation, Honorable Lou Clark. So also we have the Honorable Commissioner for Health, Honorable Comrade Tuyana Petrus. We have the Honorable Commissioner for Transport, Alaji Abubakar Tijani. We also have other honorable members of the State House of Assembly coming in. I also like to recognize the security establishment who are here this morning in all their full forms. We have with us Brigadier General Abubakar Haruna, the Garrison Commander 7B, who is standing in for the Theater Commander, Operation Adinke. General, you are welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. We also have the Group Captain Mohammed Adamu Garba, who is the commander. Of course, our state is here in our presence. In our midst. We also have the Deputy Controller of Correction Service, Usman Tayi, representing the Controller, State Controller of the Correctional Services. The NDNEA Commander is here in person, and that is Commander Joseph Richard. You are welcome, sir. The Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, is being represented by DCC Tarmadama, who is standing for his sector commander. And I can see that the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is also being represented by ACC Ujida here this morning. You are welcome, sir. We have local government chairman, the chairman of the forum of local government chairman, Honorable Aluma Bolori, chairman of Aliru Metropolitan Council, is there in our midst. So also is the chairman of Mamori, Dr. Yahoni is also here in our presence. UFP, that is the World His Excellency the Executive Governor, who is a special guest of honor, will be joining us. And once he makes his appearance, the program will commence endlessly. Once again, thank you for coming, and let's continue to be mindful of the COVID-19 protocols that have been in place in this hall. Sitting arrangements with distance, and of course, wearing of face masks. Thank you, everybody. Police, I think you can continue the entertainment. Just before the police takes over, I've just been informed that the World Food Program representative and country director, Mr. Ronald Sipenda, is not here in person, but is only represented this morning by Mr. Bernard Owadi, who is the head of the Maiduguri Area Office for WFP. He is the one here this morning, and once again, I'd like to welcome Mr. Bernard Owadi, standing for the WFP representative and country director. Thank you. The police, you can continue, please. you and let us be seated. Thank you. Before we commence the proceedings this morning, we will be starting with an opening prayer. And I'd like to invite the Deputy Chief Imam of Borno to kindly lead us with the opening Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين فيها سبحانك اللهم وتحية فيها السلام وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Honorable Umar Usman Kadafur, the Right Honorable Speaker, Borno State House of Assembly, Abdul Karim Lawan, ably represented here this morning by the Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Diki Mohammed, Honorable members of the Borno State House of Assembly, present here with us this morning, the Secretary to the Borno State Government, Alhaji Usman Jide Shuaib, WUC, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, Administration and Cabinet Affairs, Alhaji Danjuma Ali, the Head of Service, Borno State, Barrister Simon Malgui, the Chief of Staff to His Excellency, the Executive Governor, Professor Issa Marche Husseini, His Royal Highness the Sheikh of Borno, represented by Alhaji Mohammed Alkali Habib, the Zana Borkoma of Borno and member Borno Emirate Council, the EU Head of Cooperation, Ms. Cecil Tassim Pelzer, who will be joining us virtually on this program, the FAO representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Mr. Alfred Kafiro, who is here with us this morning, the representative of EU Women to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ms. Comfort Lamchi, the WFP Country Director and Representative to Nigeria, Mr. Ronald Sibanda, represented here this morning by Mr. Bernard Owadi, the head of Maiduguri Area Office of the WFP, the Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Honorable Engineer Abu Katalba, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, the former Minister of State Agriculture, Honorable Bukati Gani, the Honorable Commissioner RRR, ably represented this morning by the Special Advisor in the Ministry, all Honorable Commissioners and members of the Borno State Executive Council here present, members of the State Security Committee, all represented here this morning by the leaders of each of the security arm, Special Advisor to His Excellency the Executive Governor, Permanent Secretaries, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This morning we are here for this very auspicious occasion because it is a celebration of successes recorded by our development partner that has been so concerned about the situation in Borno State, especially with the 12-year-old insurgency. The European Union, realizing in 2018 that the insurgency has impacted so negatively on agriculture, with people not being able to go out to their farms because of lack of security, and in the process, agricultural-based livelihoods having become terribly affected with the threat to food security, lack of agriculture-based employment, and nutrition, especially of children, adversely being impacted. the EU decided to formulate a comprehensive restoration agenda for the agriculture-based livelihoods of smallholder farmers in Borno State. It therefore approved a 22.1 million euro assistance to the state. And this assistance is being implemented by the FAO, the WFP, and the UN Women in collaboration with the governments of Nigeria and specifically Borno State. At the beginning of the program, Your Excellency, was targeted on 19,400 households. That was in 2018 when it was first conceived. But as today, the program has touched over 140,000 households. This is indeed a very high rate of success, and I think I would like us to give a round of applause to the EU and the operating partners who have made this possible. Thank you. Having said that, today, like I earlier mentioned, we will be celebrating these successes. I will be hearing from the people who are powering this initiative on what they have done and how they have done it. But before I preempt them, we will be hearing from the horse's mouth as we go along. At this point in time, Your Excellency, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Borno State, Honorable Engineer Talba Booker, Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, to kindly come forward to present the welcome address. Honorable Commissioner Agric, sir.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Baba and Umar Sulman, which is represented by our Deputy Governor, Alhaji Usman Godafu. The Secretary of State Government, represented by Alhaji Anjuma Ali. The Speaker House of Assembly, which is represented by Majority Leader Jigal Mohammed. The Head of Service, Barrister Samuel Mondwi, the Chief of Staff of His Excellency Professor Isa Husseini, member of Borno State Executive Council here present, special advisors, the representative of Show EU members, let me start with this new program. It gives me great honor and privilege to be part of this historic occasion to celebrate the implementation of the EU cross-border supported project being implemented by the Consortium of Food and Agriculture Organization, World Food Program, and UN Women. Let me, on behalf of Borno State Government, welcome all participants who have taken the time to be part of this event. Your Excellency, sir, the EU project has been on for the past 3 years and has recorded a lot of achievement, which is impacted greatly to life of our people, especially the IDPs and the host communities. The resilience has been developed, and today they are economically empowered. Let me stress that we in the Ministry of Agriculture still continue to create a level environment and support to all our development partners to carry out their activities smoothly. However, they must report to the ministry so that we can know where they are operating, where they are operating, and the areas they need our assistance. This is important for us to sustain the activities even after the exit of this EU project. May I therefore request that all the activities of the pertaining agriculture to be compliant starting nature of the project location challenge, if any, and other recommendations to enable us to follow up where they are. On this note, I want to thank everyone, and especially the EU, to look the possibility of bringing more of this type of projects so that our communities can benefit from their services. Finally, let me appreciate all of you for joining them. I wish you successful. Thank you.
Agricultural and natural resources, Honorable Engineer Dr. Bukari, Fellow Federal Society of Engineers. Executive Governor, represented by His Excellency the Deputy Governor. Before we proceed, I'd like to make an amendment. In my opinion, I said the target of the project of construction was from 19,400. It was actually for 90,400 households. But surprisingly, they have been able to outstrip this projection to have impacted on about 140,000 households. And that is why we are celebrating today. Having said that, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite the FAO representative, Mr. Fred Kafiro, to kindly come forward for his opening remarks. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulumu, who is represented here by Excellency Honorable Usman Kadafor, the Deputy Governor. Honorable Engineer Buka Talba, Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Let me also recognize the presence of commissioners and members of Borno State Executive Council who have been introduced to us, and all senior government officials. I want also to recognize the acting head of delegation and head of cooperation of the European Union, Ms. Cecile Tassin Pelsa, who is joining us virtually from Abuja. I want to recognize my colleagues, Ms. Comfort Lamptey, the UN Women representative here in Nigeria. I want to recognize my colleague, Ronald Sibanda, country director ad interim, who is represented by my colleague, Bernard Owadi. I want to recognize my former Assistant Director General of FAO, Dr. Buka Tijani, who is amidst us. He was introduced as former minister in this country, but I introduced him as former Assistant Director General of FAO because we work close. I want also to recognize all representatives from development partners who are here, colleagues from UN agencies who are here joining us, colleagues from local and international NGOs who are joining us, the traditional leaders, members of the press, and certainly our esteemed beneficiaries, the local communities with whom we have worked over this period of time. For me, it is gratifying to see that all of us are here for this special event as we reflect on a journey that has taken us 3 years, working together and aiming to restore conflict-affected livelihoods through sustainable agriculture. As you may be aware, FAO, UN Women, and the World Food Programme have been at the center of these efforts to enhance food security and to strengthen resilience among conflict-affected households in Borno, particularly among the smallholder farmers. This project for building up peace and sustainable development has been graciously funded by our partners, the European Union. And we are very grateful to the European Union for this support. Excellency Chief Guest, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 years of successful implementation, we thought it's now time that we reflect on the journey so far by looking at the achievements we have managed to record, but also the challenges that we have met along the way. This way, we may come up with a successful plan for sustaining the results, but more importantly, for upscaling for bigger impact. Your Excellency, our Chief Guest, as you may recall, prior to the breakout of the conflict, livelihoods in rural communities were centered on subsistence farming, largely based on pastoralism, backyard poultry production, fisheries, and crop production. But we also had a few who were involved in micro businesses. However, smallholder farmers lost their agricultural assets to the conflict, and this resulted in high rate of youth unemployment, food shortages, high levels of malnutrition, high levels of poverty, gender-based violence, among others. In the 3 years of this project, we have witnessed positive transformation of livelihoods of thousands of the targeted communities. This is through crop production, through livestock restocking, agribusiness development, access to finance and markets, safe access to fuel and energy, micro irrigation, and many other interventions that the project has been involved in. With relative stability, many people are now settling down again in their homelands. Someone who was not able to afford a meal while in the IDP camp is now able to grow enough food for the family and sell the surplus to get some money for catering of other families' necessities. I know we will soon listen to some testimonies. I don't want to go into those testimonies at this point in time, but suffice to say that this project has been very instrumental in making lasting change in people's lives by sustainably rebuilding their livelihoods and providing an important foundation to the Borno State government's efforts for rebuilding the economy through sustainable livelihoods. Whatever was achieved, we owe it to the strong collaboration that we all have had with the Borno State government, with the local leaders that we have worked with in all these areas, and also the communities and the support from our different partners. On this note, I would like to express my profound gratitude to His Excellency the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Umar Babagana Zulum, and his administration for the close working relationship that we enjoyed during the entire period of the project implementation. We have been working closely with his office and the different key ministries to this effect. We certainly look forward to continued collaboration for the good of the people of Borno State. Your Excellency, Chief Guest, allow me to also appreciate the sister agencies in the United Nations with whom we work together on this project, namely the UN Women and the World Food Programme. We are using a very unique integrated approach in the project's implementation. WFP provides emergency food and cash assistance as a safety net, while FAO strengthens local capacities for enhancing sustainable rural agriculture. The UN Women plays a pivotal role in addressing gender gaps and targeting and empowering the vulnerable women. The synergetic mandates that we have, to a large extent, have contributed to the positive outcomes of this project. Your Excellency, Chief Guest, we are grateful for the support that we received from the European Union through its Trust Fund for Africa that made the project a success, that we are able to celebrate today the achievements. The EU has been our key partner in a number of other interventions that we are implementing not only here in Borno, but also in other parts of Nigeria, with the aim of realizing economic advancement and better livelihoods of our people, especially the smallholder farmers. Indeed, we are more than grateful and look forward to continued support in noble causes like this one. Your Excellency, Chief Guest, I would like to commend all the beneficiary communities that have been working under the project. Their level of enthusiasm, their resilience, and determination for a lasting change in their lives has been quite exemplary. It is our hope that they will continue using the knowledge and the skills for further betterment of their lives, and of course for the surrounding communities. As I conclude, Your Excellency, we would like to commend the efforts of His Excellency Professor Babagana Zulu and his administration in the rebuilding of communities across Borno State, particularly the ongoing efforts to safely resettle the displaced persons back to their communities. And on behalf of my colleagues from UN Women and WFP, I would like to assure you, your administration, of our continued collaboration as we move Borno State to greater heights. Agriculture will always remain central for sustainable livelihoods and for economic growth in the state. As such, we are available to work with you to support your efforts. Thank you very much for listening.
So much. Mr. Frank Castillo. Can I hear another round of applause for him, please? Thank you. Your Excellency, this project is actually being implemented in 13 local government areas of Borno State. And having said that, I would also like to welcome the Honorable Commissioner, Local Government and Emirate Affairs, who just joined us, Honorable Sugume Mele. In the same vein, I'd like to welcome the Imam Idemi of Borno, who is also with us this morning. We are now going to go into a series of remarks now, very short remarks, I must say. And the first remark will be coming from UN Women. UN Women is one of the implementers of this project, and it's my pleasure to invite Ms. Comfort Lamchi, representative of UN Women to Nigeria and ECOWAS, for our remarks. Ms. Lamchi, please.
Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umara Zulu, ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Honorable Umar Usman Kadafor. Let me also recognize all the distinguished members of the High Table, the Honorable Commissioners and Senior Government officials here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocols. Let me, on behalf of UN Women, also register my deep pleasure and honor to be part of this EU-TUF project closing ceremony program. As one of the 3 agencies that executed this project, I'm proud of the successful partnership cultivated with our sister agencies, FAO and WFP. It really has been a demonstration of the UN at its best, working as one to support recovery efforts spearheaded by the government for the people of Borno State. I'd also like to congratulate the Borno State government for leading and guiding us to ensure that the impact of this project was maximized for the benefit of communities in all the targeted LGAs. And permit me to also take this opportunity to thank our funding partner, the European Union, for their solid support to recovery and resilience of conflict-affected populations in Borno State, and the strong leadership and commitment to women's empowerment within this framework. This program obviously has been part of a broader package of UN initiatives to support Borno State government in its recovery efforts. And it's evident from the testimonies and from highlights that have been shared by the FAO representative that the project has been successful. And in our own small way as UN Women working with FAO and WFP, We have seen over 1,000 women smallholder farmers gaining knowledge in cooperative management, entrepreneurship, financial management, and expanding their agribusinesses. And we've seen over 40 women-only cooperative groups established, with dozens of agricultural extension workers and social workers having expanded their knowledge of working on gender-responsive agricultural practices, with many more government personnel, traditional leaders, and policymakers also having been targeted as part of this effort. I'd like to use the example of Amina to illustrate in concrete terms how this project has benefited many of the vulnerable women in the targeted LGAs. Having lost her husband through the insurgency with 10 children to look after, Amina, through this intervention, received about 12 tips and cooperative skills for a startup business, and today has succeeded in scaling up, has sold over 17 rams, and currently diversified into buying and selling honey in large quantities. Many other women like Amina through this project have been empowered and are earning a sustainable livelihood to enable them to invest in their children's education and health care. So as we celebrate these achievements today, I'm confident that the beneficiaries will continue to benefit from these efforts beyond the project closure. And I have no doubt that the Borno State government, under the able leadership of the Executive Governor, Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, will put in place mechanisms that will ensure sustainability for these initiatives. This has been a punctual intervention, but the needs remain significant. And as UN Women, we stand ready to engage and continue
Thank you so much. The United Education of UN Women to Nigeria and everyone. Without the ball, and the next remark will be coming from the World Food Program. This morning, we do not have this bonus, but I am not. Now, measure 25, the USP representation, and I'm welcome to do that.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, ably represented by His Excellency the Deputy Governor, Honorable Omar Usman, the senior state level officials, representatives from the ministries, representatives from other government departments, representatives here from the development partners, the EU through their representative who has joined us virtually, the UN colleagues, we have the UN the FAO representative and the UN Women representative, other UN colleagues present. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning to all. Let me start by saying I'm very happy to join this occasion of celebrating the achievements, the results, and the challenges of a project funded by EU on the restoration and promotion of sustainable agriculture-based livelihoods. As you've heard, this project was implemented by the UN FAO, WFP, UN Women on one hand, and the government of Bono. Through this support or through this project, WFP had the component of provision of cash, that is CBT, and the purpose for that, just to mention, was to safeguard the investment that was taking place in agriculture, but also to ensure that as we go through the transition, the communities, the households supported were able to continue and sustain their consumption levels. And therefore, through this project, with the support of EU, WFP was able to disburse more than 2.5 billion naira. That in itself is a great injection to the economy of Bono State, which we do believe went a long way in supporting the economy and catalyzing the market. But equally, there was a component of the fresh food voucher that was supported by EU EDF, and this component specifically was aiming at linking the local farmers in Bono to the consumers who are vulnerable to food and nutrition insecurity. And through this support, we had farmers accessing markets and presenting their produce, primarily the fresh foods, vegetables, eggs, and other commodities to the consumers, and for this case were primarily targeted to the very vulnerable members of the community who are facing challenges with malnutrition and food security. I would also want to echo what colleagues have talked about. This project also provided a great opportunity for partnership for the UN delivery as one, and as was demonstrated by the 3 UN agencies coming together, working that the UN had with the government. And I also want to take this opportunity to greatly appreciate His Excellency the Governor for the support, for the leadership, and for the guidance he did provide throughout the implementation of this project. I want to recognize that the challenges still remain enormous. The challenges in Bono State in the restoration of livelihoods are still huge, and therefore this is just the beginning of that collaboration and therefore the support. And on that front, I would just want to reaffirm WFP's commitment, working together with sister UN agencies to continue supporting not only the life-saving projects that we have undertaken, which popularly known as humanitarian support, but also the life-changing projects that will be initiated by the government. So, just to conclude, I thank the communities, the leadership of the Bono State, and the collaboration of the government in ensuring that we had a success in this project. Thanks to you all.
Thank you, representative of the WFP. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, at this point in time, we are going to go virtual. In our introduction, I did mention the fact that the head of the EU cooperation will be joining us virtually on this program. It is now my pleasure to invite to join us virtually, which will be right here on the screen here, Ms. Cecil Tassin-Pelser, the European Union Head of Cooperation, as she makes her remarks. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, kindly let us focus on the project on the screen here as the EU Head of Cooperation joins us. Can we have her, please?
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Honorable Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Please stop trying. We're on track.
Good morning.
We can
hear me? Okay, sorry. Honorable Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on the existing protocols. I am delighted to be able to join you virtually for this celebration this morning. Although I'm really sorry not being able to be physically with you. I would like to thank the previous speakers for their kind words towards the European Union. This project is a part of the EU Borno package. The European Union has provided funding to the FAO, WFP, and UN Women, who are our long-standing partners, to implement this project aimed at building the resilience of population affected by the conflict in Borno State. Through this critical funding, there has been a close collaboration with governments and non-governmental partners to support the affected communities. Where necessary, we have had to adapt the project to the exigencies of the locations where implementation is taking place. We do hope that there has been sufficient cross-fertilization of ideas to strengthen sustainability for the future. The flexibility we have shown was necessitated by the challenges of insecurity and the COVID-19 restrictions. But despite these problems, we have noted some key achievements on the project that we hope could be carried forward by the state government and respective local authorities. Specifically, the EU-supported project has achieved the overall objective of building the resilience of conflict-affected people and enhance social protection through creation of employment and the promotion of environment and climate-friendly livelihood opportunities. The project has helped the affected communities to increase agricultural production, improve the food security, diversify food sources from their farms, and improve their income generation. Secondly, the project reached out to and supported a total of more than 140,000 beneficiaries, women and men, who benefited from different improved agricultural technologies intervention in 13 LGAs of Borno State. However, it is also important to underscore key challenges to be taken forward at state level. First, the volatility of security that poses a great challenge in building sustainable transition between humanitarian and development in most LGAs of Borno State. Indeed, restrictions of movements and transport of inputs has been difficult, affecting the delivery of some activities. Secondly, access to land is limited to security reasons as well. As the IDPs are not having their own land, some are renting small plots of land for farming from the host communities, which is unsustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that winning the war against hunger and food insecurity would require finding lasting and enduring solutions to the challenges I've just listed there. From this catalytic intervention funded by the European Union, we need to emphasize that integrated agriculture, crop, livestock, aquaculture, and capacity building development program has demonstrated sustainable food production and food availability in the affected communities. We are indeed very pleased with the fact that the involvement and coordination of government at different levels has improved project implementation and its sustainability prospect. We encourage this collaboration going into the future. Finally, from the European Union perspective, we will continue to learn and improve ways of designing projects and intervention that facilitate a smoother transition from humanitarian assistance to recovery, peace, and development. Developing agriculture systems in the returning communities will play a crucial role in provision of food, livelihoods, and income throughout the value chains. To ensure smooth and sustainable return, however, restoration of basic services and local governance in the affected communities is key to peace building for the recovery initiative to thrive. Other necessary actions would include support to government efforts to combat desertification through afforestation by reducing demand for firewood and reduce environmental degradation. There will be a need to strengthen the social protection program and expand its coverage to the beneficiaries that need it the most, especially with conflict-affected communities, for sustainable program implementation and building resilience. This will be one of the priorities of our future programs in Nigeria. As the team and the participants deliberate on the key issues emerging from the project, we look forward to taking the lessons into the future design and planning. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much. We've just finished listening to Ms. Cecil Tassim-Peltzer, the European Union Head of Cooperation. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Borno State, all other protocols respectfully observed. We now move on, and the next item on the agenda is presentation on EU Trust Fund project. And that presentation is going to be made by Professor Tijani Salisu. May I now invite Professor Tijani Salisu, and after he has finished his presentation, we'll be taking a video presentation on the overall activities of EUTF. Professor Tijani Salisu, please.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, ably represented here by the Deputy Governor, dignitaries here on the high table, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Ever since the start of this activity, we've had some stint on the project, right from the introduction of the MC through to the remarks by the heads of the consortium, that is the heads of the UN agencies that are involved in implementing this project. So maybe somebody may say it's suffice to say that all that is about this project has been said, but it's not out of place to also to have a rundown of a bit more details on the project. The project is graciously funded by the European Union and is implemented by the trio of Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, UN Women, and the WFP World Food Programme. The title of the project, Restoring and Promoting Sustainable Agriculture-Based Livelihoods to Improve Food Security, Employment, and Nutrition in Borno State. Here today we are celebrating the results of the achievement of the project. The outline of my presentation goes like this: the project profile, and also objectives and expected results. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that my presentation is going to be on two parts, and therefore the first part, which is this one, will so much dwell on the two outlines stated on the screen of profile of the project and also the objectives and expected results. That is the part one. Okay, project profile. The project is implemented in 13 local government areas, namely the modality of actually coming out with these local government areas was decided by the implementing partners and also the government of Borno State, bearing in mind places where there are populations with great needs, which was actually being guided by the cadre harmonisé, and also by the access. As we all know that there are security issues, especially maybe when you reflect to 2018, there are areas that are having so much challenges that you cannot access security-wise. And therefore, since the bulk of the activities under the project are actually agriculture-based, therefore access to land is also an issue to reckon with when we come to maybe deciding on the LGS where the project is to be implemented. So the effort actually brought about this LGS where the project, and today we are celebrating the results of the implementation. The target groups have been members of host communities, IDPs and returnees, and the total target was actually 99,500 households, which is equivalent to 646,750 individuals. The duration of the project is 45 months. It was actually 36 months, but due to the exigencies of COVID, we now sought the indulgence of the donors to actually maybe upscale or rather maybe extend the project, and it was graciously accepted to be extended up to the 30th of November 2021. That makes the 45 months. On the other side of it is a map of the project areas. The implementing partners. The implementing partners have been FAO, UN Women and WFP, also in collaboration with the federal and Borno State governments, institutions, the ADP, local and international NGOs, national and international research institutes, and also the private sector. The funding was actually by the European Union through the European Union Trust Fund for Africa, EUTF. The project's objectives and results. The overall objective was to build the resilience of conflict-affected people and public sector institutions in Borno in an environment-friendly way, with the specific objective of enhancing social protection through creation of employment and the promotion of environment and climate-friendly livelihood opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, the project has three main results areas, including smallholder farmers have enhanced skill and knowledge to implement good agriculture and nutrition and gender practices. Smallholder farmers have diversified food source and income, and smallholder farmers have opportunities for markets and business development. In all these results, special considerations have been made for men, women, and youth to actually consider their specific needs in the implementation of the activities under this project. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, my presentation will be in two parts. I will come in after the next program for the part 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Professor Salisu Tijani, for your presentation that was actually very much on point. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we move on in the program now, and it is a time to do, if you look at our program, we see we're supposed to have a photo exhibition right now, which is being hosted by the FAO, but we have adjusted that to be at the end of the program because it will involve His Excellency leaving the high table to go back to the table there to watch the photo exhibition, and that might be a little inconveniencing for now. Therefore, we move to the next segment of the program, which is a presentation on achievements and challenges, and there will be largely video presentations. So the first video presentation of 3 minutes or thereabout will be coming on now, and it is going to be on achievements and
My name is Umar Amadu. Ina godiya wani bohol da yake da bohol ya yi amfani da samu albasa, ya samu karas, ya samu barkono. Ina yi muku godiya sosai.
Ina tsammanin wannan abubuwan da aka bani zai taimaka min in ciyar da marayuna kuma in yi hanyar makarantarsu.
Yawa gode lade ya a wanda kunyan gari kun bude yuyan goron da yuyan shawun da ya yuyan alhamdulillah gode yana
2020 I got bull, and that bull I patented it. I later come and sold it to 150,000 naira.
Please take the microphone to the former Honorable Commissioner Information, Zonal Director of NAFDAC, Dr. Bukali Usman, for his comment. And please, if you can specifically let us know who you are directing the question to, except if it's a comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, may I stand on the existing protocol? Well, the whole topic is about issue of adding value to livelihood of affected people, mostly agrarian in nature. So the more people are encouraged to go into farming, there is that high tendency of more people processing this farm produce. As they are processing or packaging, that's where NAFDAC will add value, will contribute to whatever process that is being taking place. So I will just, my suggestion is, NAFDAC has an area laboratory here in Maiduguri. That laboratory can be utilized to add value. Those that are processing this food produce can be guided in a way to ensure that the quality of whatever they are processing meet the minimum regulatory and health standards, and that will improve and encourage trade of whatever product that they process. So I'm presenting NAFDAC to actually add value to whatever we are doing here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bukali Usman. I think essentially his comment, which could also be suggestion, is on collaborating with NAFDAC to standardize whatever is being produced on this agri value chain for more market. We will allow response to come, but let us take maybe the questions while the various heads there are taking note so that we run everything concurrently. Do we have any other comment or suggestion or question? Okay, if there is none, then I do not know who we want to respond to. Okay, we have one. Okay, from the former Honorable Minister of State Agriculture. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor, I stand on all existing protocols. I first of all want to thank the EU, especially the head of cooperation and former UN colleagues from WFO, WFP and UN Women. I have comments and also I have questions, very short ones. And I will try to cut my long talk to be very short.
Thank you. Please do so.
Yeah. When establishing this, especially the FAO office here in Maiduguri, I know what I went through, but I'm happy that this is one. Second, I had the opportunity to bring the FAO Director General in March 2017 to see what is happening in terms of what is happening, what the EU is doing, what others are doing, and there was a very serious advocacy for funding to restore livelihoods, especially of an agrarian state like Borno. Now, I have seen what has happened over these years. My question is, especially to Ms. Cecile, the head of EU cooperation. I had also the opportunity in working with Dr. Leonard Messi, who is a very close person to me. I hope that now that the insurgency has reached a point of getting securities back in Borno and the Northeast, it will be an opportunity. It will also be a call to make sure that these supports go beyond what we have seen of the 140,000 households who have benefited. And to be candid, over a period of 42 years, going through agriculture, going through rural transformations and developments, and knowing what is happening in Bono as one of the indigents, is that this is the time that we require most assistance, because to the population in Bono. Thank you so much.
Thank you, former Honorable Minister of State Agriculture. I think before we go on, we'll allow response to come. Your question, former Honorable Minister, was specifically to the EU Head of Cooperation, Ms. Cecil Tassin-Pelsa. And I want to ask, Ms. Cecil Tassin-Pelsa, if you are hearing us, that question was directed at you. Do you have a response? Ms. Cecil Tassin-Pelsa, can you hear us? Well, that's technology. You don't always get it when you want it. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we can go on to the NAFDAC issue. I do not know whether we have a comment from UN Women or from WFP or from FAO. Okay, we have the FAO, Mr. Kafaro, we want to make, am I okay? Okay. We want to make a response to the question from NAFDAC. Thank you. If later we get the EU Head of Cooperation, we will likely have responded. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I just want to thank the colleague from NALDA for the comment that was made. And for us, this underlines the importance of partnership, because Borno State is an agrarian state. If you talk about agriculture, we need as many partners as possible to realize meaningful outcomes from agriculture. I think the issue you were talking about related to laboratory, I mean, this is just one of them, but it's very critical, because if we talk about food safety, for example, we talk about quality produce to access markets, we talk about increasing shelf life of whatever we produce, the sort of support that you mentioned becomes critical. And we really want to commend your efforts. We want to partner with you, not only on that. We've talked about also issues related to fertilizer and the use of organic manures, to enhance soil fertility. So for me, what I would say is that this is very welcome, and just to underline the fact that working in partnership is the only way to go if we are really to realize meaningful benefits. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kafero. Can we give him a round of applause? I'm sure he has answered appropriately to the suggestion from the Zonal Director of NAFDAC. It is now time to take the second presentation from Professor Tijani Salisu. He broke his presentation into two parts. We took the first one, and the second one is also a very short one, and he will be picking it up now. Professor Tijani Salisu, please.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor. All protocols duly observed. I'm here to complete the second part of my presentation, which is about the achievements, challenges, and way forward. Actually, the implementation of this project has been Okay. So project achievements by results. Like I said earlier, we have 3 results, key results areas where this project actually is working on. So in this, my second coming, I'm going to give a rundown of the results by activities and also by the figures. As you can see under result area 1, activity 1.1, where we have the target, and this is the achievement. Maybe not to take much of our times, the last 2 columns are actually showing the target, or rather maybe not the last 2 columns, but maybe the third and the fourth columns are actually the targets and the achievements so far. I would like to crave your indulgence to say that even though we are doing the celebration today, but the actual NTE, right, the end of this project, shall be on the 30th of November 2021. And therefore, there are certain activities that are still ongoing. And let me say that these activities that are still to be completed are actually activities that were upscaled because of the time space that we had. We also asked the donor to also maybe have some of the activities upscaled. For example, activity 1.4, the initial plan was to target 200, which we already have done. So it is during the upscale now that the donor allowed us to upscale by 80 households, and this one is in progress, and it shall be completed by the end of October 2021. And activity 1.5, you may see that the target was actually 50. However, our achievement has been 40. We all know the problems we have been having in this state, especially on the security. Some of the invitees to this training could not actually make it because of some security breaches along the line during the time of the training. And also for 1.6, like I said, it is also continuing, and it shall be completed by the end of October 2021. Result area 2, as we have seen in the previous slide, it is just similar to that, only that under these results, these are the activities. Activity 2.1 actually targeted 91,000 households, but with the upscale, the donor actually allowed us to upscale by 30,000, which brings it to 121,000 households that were reached with agricultural input support for both rainy and dry season. And also for livestock, which are also being completed. For the 2.5 actually is part of the upscale activities. Ladies and gentlemen, it is wise to mention that activities 2.1, 2.2, no, not 2.2, 2.3A, 2.3B, and 2.4, and also of 2.5, were actually also being supported with some safeness in terms of cash transfers. This with the intention of social protection and also for the protection of the assets. So cash transfers were also extended to these beneficiaries in order to support them to restart their livelihoods. Result area 3, these are the activities. 3.1, the target was 20 enterprises to be supported. These are seed production enterprises. However, we could not meet up with the 20, also due to some security challenges in some of the areas where we wanted to establish these production enterprises, especially in some parts of northern Borno, specifically in Gubio LGA. And all other activities have been completed except for maybe 3.4, which is also part of the upscale activities. The initial plan was to establish 50 processing and trade enterprises, which we've done. And now it was upscaled by 80. And of the 30 that was upscaled, 15 were already done. And we are expecting to complete the remaining 15 by the end of October. So these are the activities we supported with fresh food support, which was actually also aided by WFP in reaching 10,000 households with fresh foods. And also we supported women safe access to fuel and energy, in which 10,000 households were also supported. Ladies and gentlemen, these achievements are actually not without hitches. There were some challenges that we faced in the implementation of these activities. Key challenges are access to volatile areas leading to delayed implementation in such areas. I think this one is not something that may require some more elaboration, as we are familiar with the context in which we are implementing. And also for the cash transfer, actually the plan was to have maybe cash transfers using e-wallets, or probably maybe using some vouchers. Unfortunately, the issue of internet and telecommunication infrastructure in some of the areas could not actually allow for that, and that one also delayed some of our cash activities. And so also the COVID-19 activities, the lockdowns, the restrictions, also prevented, especially our trainings where we want to gather people around. And that one also has either extended the period of the trainings or maybe delayed the period in which the training will be conducted. And some also the government policies on SIM card registration also has affected the cash component of the project. At a point, beneficiaries cannot be registered because of the requirements of the government policy regarding new SIM registration. And also access to land due to security concerns limit activities in some locations. There are locations that you cannot go beyond certain areas, either for fear of being attacked by the insurgents, or probably maybe due to security in the place where tall crops are prevented from being grown there. And therefore that one also constitutes a challenge to the implementation of the project activities. And so also the strenuous clearance of fertilizer and fertilizer movement. We know that there is also government ban on movement and use of especially urea fertilizer. However, for this one, it was surmounted by FAO, where we have some wet blended, this one is a special brand for FAO, wet blended fertilizer, the fertilizer that you cannot separate the nitrogen from phosphorus or the potassium from any one of them. We understand that it is the nitrogen component of the fertilizer that can be used for the explosives. So in this regard, FAO now come up with a formula whereby all the three can be mixed in the proportion that is required for proper plant growth, and it was formulated in one go. And that one now solves the problem for fertilizer to be procured and also distributed. Key lessons include, access to improve production enhances productivity and ensure availability and access by farmers. Also, productivity has increased through availability. Our preliminary evaluations have shown that now households have improved acceptable full consumption scores compared to when the project started. And also women empowerment we have evidence that women empowerment also bolster household food security outcomes, which also shows improved food security outcomes for women. Okay. I think this is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Nasiru Tijani. We're still on our presentation on achievements and challenges. And now we have another 2 minutes for video, which is going to be on bull fattening and goats. Bulls fattening and goats. Can we play it, please?
Idan dan kasuwa ne, na je Monday market kasuwa na yi sari, na ɗauka ko kaya na zo bakin shago na muna garage. To ina zuwa na bude shago na shiga kenan zai ci gaba da business ina, sai na ji karan bindiga da bom. Papar bindiga bom ya tashi. Ina fita ina leka ashe abin ma a kusa da mu ne. Sannan sai na ga mutane biyu sun rasa ransu suna faɗe, su ma na gudu. Daga baya da muka gudo muka koma muka yi shiru muka koma muka dawo, dama ina da mota, kayan da naje na yi sari ma Boko Haram sun ɗauki motan sun tafi da kayan gaba daya. Sannan shop ina da nake yin kasuwa na kaya sun sa wuta, kaya ya kone. To na rasa menene zan yi. Shekara da shekaru na kai shekara 15 ina yin wannan business da hannu sannu a hankali har na samu business ya girma. Yanzu a lokaci daya na yi misin da business ba ni da abin da zan yi, ina zo ne haka. To na kai shekara 7 ba da abin da nake, sai dai in yi leburanci, in yi hustling, in zo in ciyar da gidana. Sannan Allah ya sa wannan kungiya ya dawo ya ba mu tallafi na shanu kenan. To na rike shanu nan, na shi rike shanu nan ya koci, sannan sai na yi tunani me zan yi da wannan shanu din. Ya kamata in je, sai na yi tunani ya kamata in je in sai da shanu nan in dawo in zo in ci gaba da business na. Na je na sai da shanu nan 170. Sai na zo na ci gaba da kama shago, na bar wancan wajen na zo na kama shago a cikin anguwa, na sa kaya na minerals da ruwa da sauransu ina sayarwa. Yanzu dai alhamdulillah canji ya zo, abu ya fara yin albarka. Ina sai da kaya yanzu, ina ciyar da iyali na da shi. Rashin lafiyansu ina daukan ɗawainiyar rashin lafiyansu, ina kula da su, ina kula da kaina alhamdulillah.
sa ai ma wa zin kelewa silai kwain kulo bareji uye kolji ni so walto en so bare kolji de kukya kayan yendin gelele dikin dai Boko Haram me isu fitina sudu kulo eno zo bare nyomba ai ma de mbaro wenne surawa da isina indai andero saudu kat sadu dai kat sadu andero kayan dia wura sadu dai kayan dia wuri kala kikin kumbu ga so yiyu kin ikin akaido kwa sambu sai in so sambu dai sai ya wuraga dai larike dai ngilaro an kayu ko ngilaro ayu kana idin dai akai wanta sasambu larike dun so mantiro kare anga montie so kamge
mama yin kayan fondondiri zauro uro murna sunna kijin zufayin zama mara uro kokori sunna sanadiya kayan yadin shirin kare ni laso jiri a wularo yin surana ya lenge UK
da ya kar a wani fanni kanai gula mara wasu rana ala bara su ku
and challenges of the project. It is now time to invite the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement for a short remark. But as we all know, the Honorable Commissioner is bereaved and therefore will not be here with us this morning, but is represented here by a special advisor to His Excellency on RRR, Alhaji Abdulrahman Abdul Karim, who I will now invite to come forward for a short remark from the Ministry of RRR.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. His Excellency the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, FNSE, MNI, who is ably represented by His Excellency the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Honorable Umar Gadafur, the Secretary, Borno State Government. All protocol duly and respectively observed. I am indeed delighted to be part of this event, which is aimed at celebrating the result of the EU Trust Fund in Borno State. The project title, Restoring and Promoting Sustainable Agriculture-Based Livelihood for Food Security, Employment and Nutrition Improvement in Borno State, is being implemented by FAO, WFP, and UN Women. I am aware that this project, launched in 2018, has exceeded the number of beneficiaries household by more than 70%. This is therefore very commendable. Let me therefore thank the European Union and the Custom partners led by FAO for doing a great job. It is my prayer that our teaming beneficiaries will make a very good use of this skill, have acquired the starter pack and other support from the project. Thank you all and God bless.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner, represented by the Special Advisor on RRR. Thank you. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are still moving forward. The project has done so much in the various livelihoods that are agriculture-based. The last one is on irrigation and poultry. I will still have a little video of 2-3 minutes that will be presented on irrigation and poultry before we know what is the way forward. Can I now ask for the video, please, in 3 minutes?
da alo lokacin da muke ciki muna aikin farmers muna samu karuwa ci gaba alhamdulillah mu rike kanmu ba ruwanmu da gwamnati kowa ana tallafa mana amma da wannan abu ya kasance da muka gudu muka bar Alau Dam kan daga muka zo Maiduguri to mun zo in kasance wani hali kuma Allah ya sa mun zo anan mu tarar kanmu yanzu a can Alau akan daga muna aikin muna samu ruwa amma da mun zo nan kuma ba ma samu ruwan yanzu muna samu problem amma kuma duk da hakan haya muna karba water form wannan ma da kyar wani lokaci za mu je mu yi wahala mun sha kamar kai kuka sannan ka samu kudin da zaka je ka biya hayan water form to ka sha wahala Allah ya sa yanzu kuma gashi yanzu zan iya in samu wannan kudin da zan iya in biya kudin hayan water form din yanzu kuma sai godiya shekara na uku ni da mata na da yara na a cikin kan muna fama muna leburanci. To muna leburanci bare ya rike mu ba, shine muka karba land da muka zo muka samu wannan aiki na farmers wannan muka soma. To da na zo na samu water form yanzu gashi zan yi aiki na in na rike family na yanzu sai godiya, komi yanzu ya bunkasa sai godiya, ina ta dariya da gashi gwana na har na zo na kara ya zo ma ya girma da gwana alhamdulillah daga nan iya nan kusan ina da eka 2 ma sai godiya, sai murna nake yi. Abinda ina samu dai yanzu ina samu aljihuna zan sa kawai, ba abu ne kudin hayan da zan je biya, naira 1 baran biya hayan ba. To yanzu kuma alhamdulillah za mu iya mu ke da.
Now we are going to see the poultry video for another 2 minutes.
Alhamdulillah bare din arum me fandien gade fandien watti sron a tarko konyen fandien duaddo koddi awo fandien ma ba alhamdulillah razo fandien dai amdu dai isa da sai yalwala sai sro jokkorin do sai adwala abana da ishe na ado duza an je ishe na ado dai bana ya fan diyan de ai ma diyan de biale yin suralan dai mbungule ba na da ishe na ado dai dun ne ma ne zaka kasal zai isa shirin da ganyen buye ado makan daran de dai kuma ko yar ite fandena ar sai da zuka jin zufanye na dai kuma karun di magana ki dubu dai kuma da ran da karar da zai ar kuma ko yi fandena dai kuma da tungar gana surutuna dai kuma da isrodin magin da ya gana gana yin dai zar da gana gana ya isrodin fandena dai kuma ai so isu fattina kuma re dai de tunde kuma fundu de tunde nglaji
That is the achievement in areas of poultry. Another livelihood contributor. At this point, we have seen the achievements of the project, but we need to know, going forward, what are we expecting to see from them? And in just 2 minutes, I would like to call the FAO representative, Mr. Fred Kafiro, to kindly, in 2 minutes, let us know what is the way forward after this achievement.
Thank you so much. Excellency, our Chief Guest, I just want to highlight 2 or 3 points as we go forward. First and foremost, we have observed that actually this project demonstrates that first and foremost, we can work together. We can work together within the UN system based on our comparative advantages. We can work together with the government. we can work together with other partners as well, but also with our development partners who provide financing. It also demonstrates that we can integrate interventions. As you have seen from the videos, there's so many interventions that have gone on, all integrated within the same communities to increase and strengthen the impact of the project. We have had inspiring stories. So even when we had all this challenge of the conflict, you still see smiles of so many of these people that have been impacted by the conflict, but with what they have been able to do, that they are able to move out of their situation for the better. The project, as has been indicated by Professor Salisu, is still ongoing all the way up to November. So there are still interventions that are still being carried out. As Borno State government finds and works towards lasting solutions to the insecurity, more and more local people are going back to their villages. Therefore, the need for these people to be supported as much as possible, that they are able to strengthen their resilience, that we are able to strengthen the nutrition aspects of their lives, that they are able to produce food, not only for their own households, but also food that they can sell and market throughout the state. And more importantly, that we are able to develop value chains. Because as you saw, some of the videos showed that there's some processing that is going on for those who are producing, for example, tomatoes in EU and other areas. This is very important. And this state has got a lot of opportunities for value chain development. So we see opportunities there that can be further strengthened. And thank God in the discussions, in the presentation of the EU this morning, we also heard that these are areas of their priorities. So for us as the UN entities, we are ready and available to work with the government, to work with other partners in order to be able to support these efforts. We've been having quite a lot of discussions, not only with the government, but also with other partners. We want to strengthen those discussions into concrete actions. And I'm glad that we have the military officials here. We've had discussions with the military because much of the work that we do in the field is dependent on lifting or at least giving us some waivers on the restrictions that are there, for example, for movement of fertilizer, movement of inputs like goats that you have seen or bulls. So we work together very closely for this kind of support. And there are many others that we work with. This has to be strengthened, and we believe that going forward, we will be working on that. We would like to upscale so far the good results that we have seen. They are just in a few households, 140,000. But this state has a bigger population than that. And we believe that with all the efforts that we commit ourselves to do, this we can do in order to build on the skills and knowledge and tools that have so far been brought forward. It was stated in no better terms by my former ADG, Mr. Bukatijani, that there is no better time to increase the support for restoring livelihoods, building resilience, and in fact, ensuring we commit ourselves to the state. So I just want to end here and just say that for real transformation to happen, we need to work together. We need the support of everyone out there. And we want to thank the EU for the work that they have done. We believe that we'll still work together with them to be able to strengthen these efforts. So I thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Frank Kafiro, for pointing the way forward. And like he has said, the way forward is for better collaboration, support from all implementing partners and everybody, because Borno State indeed has a very large population, and more than the 140 households already impacted can still be touched. Thank you for giving us the way forward. It is now my Pleasure to invite the Secretary to the Borno State Government, ably represented there by the Permanent Secretary, Administration and Cabinet Affairs, Alhaji Danjuma Ali, to kindly come forward and most respectfully invite His Excellency the Deputy Governor to present the keynote address on this occasion. Permanent Secretary, Administration, please.
Your Excellency, Professor Babakara Umar Zulum, FNSE, Permanent Executive Governor of Borno State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Borno State, His Excellency Alhaji Umar Usman Kadafu. Permit me to stand on the established protocol. On behalf of the Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Usman J. Peshua, FWC, it is my honor and rare privilege to invite Your Excellency, Professor Babakara Umar Zulum, FNSE, MNI, ably represented by Your Excellency Alhaji Umar Usman Kadafu, Deputy Governor of Borno State, to deliver your address. Your Excellency. Speaker of Borno State House of Assembly, will be represented by the majority leader of the Monday Brigade. Members of this Borno State House of Assembly will be present. Secretary to the State Government by the Permanent Secretary Administration and Cabinet Affairs, Head of Service, Mr. Samuel Mulvey, Chief of Staff, the Executive Governor, Professor Sir His Royal Highness the Shaykh represented by Alhaji Muhammad Al-Khali Habib, Governor Bob Omar, and Member of the Council, the EU Head of Corporation, Cecilia, FAO representative to Nigeria and Air Force, Mr. Ferro, representative of the European Union to Nigeria and Air Force, Mr. Representative of the WFP, Council Director and representative to Nigeria, former Minister of Agriculture, Tijani, Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Honorable Engineer Bukat Talwa, Honorable Commissioner of Ministry for People Power, Honorable Engineer Mustafa, and Special Advisor to His Excellency in that ministry, members of the State Executive Council, members of the Borno State Security Council, Special Advisors, Special Assistants, local government chairmen who are present, permanent secretaries, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm immensely delighted to address you on the occasion of the European Union Trust Fund, EUTF, projects resource celebration organized by Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, which is a specialized agency of the United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger and improve nutrition and food security globally. The significance of this agency to the government and people of Borno State is immeasurable. As such, we unanimously remain appreciative for their numerous people-oriented interventions that has greatly added value to our humanitarian response across the state over the years. Your presence in Borno State at this crucial time is quite commendable. However, we don't have any option than to fare you well as you have come to the end of the programs. In addition, Borno State has benefited so much from the activities of Food and Agriculture Organization. It has enhanced food security and strengthened resilience among affected households in the state. Borno State is one of the states that is highly affected by the activities of insurgents, as peace is gradually returning to the state and quite a number of internally displaced persons are returning to their communities. Food and Agriculture Organization has assisted farmers with fertilizers and modern farming inputs to support and enhance the agricultural productivity to complement the effort of Borno State government in boosting agriculture in the state after more than a decade-long insurgency. Furthermore, the Food and Agriculture Organization have been implementing projects in the communities affected by insurgency. The projects, among others, are peace building, sustainable development, restoring and promoting agricultural-based livelihood for food security through the distribution of foodstuffs and other household materials to internally displaced persons. The program has also created greater employment opportunities to the teeming youth in the state, and it has also enhanced the natural and the nutritional value of nursing, mothers and pregnant women. It is worthy of note that the project is funded by the European Union through the Trust Fund for Africa, jointly implemented by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, UN Women, and the World Food Program in collaboration with the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Borno State. The program, which was launched in 2018, planned to reach out to 99,500 households, have turned out to reach 140,000 across the 13 local government areas in Borno State. This initiative is quite commendable. The mission and vision of the project is to build the resilience of the conflict-affected people and public sector institutions effectively aligned to the policy thrust of the administration, which place high premium in the agricultural sector. Most of these projects on ground has great impact on the life and the people of Borno State. Let me use this medium to express our special appreciation to the European Union for funding this project from the start to the end, and look forward to more collaborative efforts for restoring hope and confidence in our people. May I also thank Food and Agriculture Organization and United Nations Women for providing technical expertise that lead to the huge success of the projects that we are here celebrating today. As Food and Agricultural project is coming to an end, let me use this medium to call upon other international development partners to take over where Food and Agriculture Organization has ended. This is because our people are still in need of assistance and support, as most of them have returned to their communities to continue their livelihood. On the final note, let me once again appreciate your unwavering support and encouragement to the people of Borno State. Your numerous interventions were worthy of commendation and applause. I wish you best in your future endeavors. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Can I have a bigger round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, earlier on I announced that there was an adjustment to the program. There is a photo exhibition which is going to be the last item on the program. And that means after the vote of thanks, we take the closing prayer and national anthem. The dignitaries at the high table, led by His Excellency the Deputy Governor, will be having a group photograph session with the organizers of this program, after which His Excellency will lead the members of the high table to the table behind there where the photo exhibition on this project is on. While His Excellency goes to the photo exhibition, I will crave the indulgence of everyone in the hall to please continue to be on our seats. After the photo exhibition, His Excellency will depart. Thereafter, every other person can look at the photo exhibition. Please let us comply so that we maintain decorum. Thank you so much. Having said that, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Honorable Umar Usman Kadafur, every other protocol is most respectfully observed. It is now time to take the vote of thanks of this program, and I'd like to invite the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Malambula Magana, to come forward for the vote of thanks.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, MNI, GCON, FNC, heavily represented by His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Honorable Umar Usman Kadafur, the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, heavily represented by the Majority Leader, Honorable the Secretary to the State Government, who is heavily represented by the Permanent Secretary, Tajuma Ali, the Head of Service, Ms. Malwi, the Chief of Staff, Professor Isa Marte, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Alhaji Bukar Shijani, and other protocols duly and respectively observed. Praise be to Allah, the Almighty, who gave us the opportunity to witness this important occasion where FAO, the other partners, WFP and others, to celebrate the results of the European Union Transport projects. It's a great day for us in this state, as majority of population lives in agriculture. FAO and the other partners have done well, as we have all seen in the video shown, and what we heard from all the presenters, that FAO and the partners has done well in our livelihood stabilizations and resilience strengthening of our conflict affected people in the years under review. With that, I stand humble to thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, for his unflinching support to agriculture, and His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Borno State, for representing His Excellency to grace this important event. Our appreciations and thanks also goes to the FAO representative to Nigeria and ECO, Mr. Pres Capiro, who of all its tight schedules, come all the way from Abuja to witness these August occasions. Thank you, sir. We are very grateful for the presence of the representative of the UN Women to Nigeria in this comfort country. We appreciate your effort. We are also indebted to thank the APO Head of South Office, in person of Ms. Hassan Sisi and team who always working round the clock to see that our farmers are well cushioned in their farming activities. Thank you, Mr. Sisi. Worthy to mention also our brother ministry, the Ministry of Triple Arts, for their impeccable coordination for the EU projects. We thank them too. We also thank the support of our honorable members, House of Assembly, the Executive Council members, and honorable chairman of local government here present for witnessing this event. Our appreciations to the chairman and chief executives of parcels, and also our colleague permanent secretaries who are present, SCCs, SCs, and other members for witnessing these occasions. My question. So thank you. I will stop here.
Thank you, Permanent Secretary, Agri and Natural Resources, Malam Bulawagana, for the vote of thanks. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Honorable Umar Usman Kadafur, all other protocols most respectfully observed. This is where we come to the end of this program, and we will be taking now the closing prayer. And I'd like to invite the Imam Ideni of Borno to give us the closing prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.
Before we take the national anthem, permit me to remind us once again that immediately after the national anthem, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, will be leading members of the high table for a group photograph. Thereafter, they will move to the table behind there to inspect the photo exhibition on this project that has been mounted. And after that has been done, we will now allow them to leave the hall before every other person begins to go. Please let us maintain this decorum. Having said that, it is now time to rise as we take the national anthem, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you. Please, let's be seated as I invite His Excellency the Deputy Governor and the members of the high table for a photo session, after which we go to inspect. Please let us maintain our seats in the hall
Wata da ainihin muna yin shi a gargajiyance muna yi kamar da ƙasan Falasɗin ya sani amma zuwa wannan ƙungiyar da NGO suka yi yanzu na yi a suka shi sa ka yi shi yanzu wanda muke da shi zai iya kawo su kuma da lalace ba ga shi a cikin gida muna saya ne daga wurin maza wanda aka koya musu kuma kiwo muka saya a wurin su shi ne za mu zo mu ba mu gyara
Why the women process the fish, they purchase from the men and process it. And you can see from different community, we have Usman, we have two in the local government, we have Sabarmari, we have Naborundada, then we have Mongolo. So, health centers are built in Borno State with a modern technology of fish processing in an environment-friendly manner, in a hygienic manner. And that has reduced the hazard associated smoking fish which women will experience. So they can now smoke fish through the rain season, fish through dry season, without fear of any sunshine, without fear of rain, that it will feed them, that will feed the fish to spoil. So it's now it is building and they can process it if it is and without any fear of flies or other things. And the products, I would like to tell you, Excellency, that in today's supermarket today in Maiduguri, you can find this product.
Wannan fish fry kenan. Mun da muka saba da shi.
I think those in charge of refreshment, you can be serving people seated in the hall while His Excellency and the dignitaries and the photo exhibition stand. Please begin to serve the refreshment. Those in charge of refreshments, begin to serve the people seated in the hall while the inspection of the photo exhibition by His Excellency the Deputy Governor is ongoing. Those in charge of refreshments, please begin to serve the people so that they do not wait unnecessarily too long. Please.
His Excellency is walking. Let us rise and say, our deputy governor is walking. Let us rise and say, His Excellency is walking. We people are going. Let us rise and say.
In charge of refreshments, please ensure that people begin to serve so that people don't wait unnecessarily too long. Please. While the exhibition inspections is going on simultaneously, let us serve the people.
His Excellency is walking. Let us rise and say.
We have just been informed that the refreshment is being packaged. So before you leave, the person will have his package to take along with you. So just kindly bear with the organizers. They are packaging the refreshment.
Excellency, fine sir. This is one of the initiatives of EPIC. We call it Education Stop. Actually, we brought this to you. See, this is the conventional one that is common. While this is what EPIC was presented with an advanced technology. You know, our women are resourceful. No. Yeah, advanced technology. It's contextual. Actually, advanced technology because it has two compartments. You can use it for fuel, you can use it for charcoal. And it is advanced in the sense that it retains high heat value. Where you use fuel for 500 naira, for this you use for 200 naira. So our preliminary evaluation shows that for households that spend 1,000 naira or 948 in a week to buy fuel wood, using this fuel efficient stove, it has reduced it by 50%. Now they spend only 460 naira and buy fuel wood. And also with regards to protection risks, because this is a major area FAO is concerned with, to protect our women and children. And the fact that they are into the business of starting for fuel wood in the bush, which is risky, we introduced this, and it has reduced their rate of frequency of going to the bush in the name of starting for fuel wood by 50%. And that means what? More time for them to engage in other livelihood activities and more ways to engage in other productive activities. And also this fuel emits less pollution than these particular ones, thereby reducing what? Health hazards such as allergies, shortness of breath, itches. So in general, this is a very good fuel efficient stove. That's why I say it's an advanced technology. Thank you so much.
As I said, our God now is working. Let us rise and say, the deputy governor is working.
Thank you so much, Your
Excellency is working.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Those in charge of refreshments, please serve people as they go, except want to eat the food yourself.
His Excellency is working. His Excellency is working. We bring the Lord. Let us rise and say.
Excuse me, sorry. All right. Okay, Excellency. Thank you so much. So I'll wait for his briefing today after your visit to that place.
Yes, so much. I'll be going there this afternoon.
Motar mun nan ya tsaya babu This is Okoyemi. Okoyemi, they are all inside. This is a video, so. Come here. Yeah. See your emblem. Yeah. Counter-terrorism. I'll tell you.
How lucky I am to have a Bono born here. Oh my God. This type of what's that? I I think we have a lot of comparative advantage. This is what all other partners
People are commenting online that we are happy. It's a nice thing.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
And the team have worked very well on the ground.
My guy, well done, well done, well done,
My brother,
well done.
these guys, they rented the PS, the PA and the screen, and some cable, everything is 40,000. That is there, same is there. But people are commenting online, man.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've been following, I was following.
You did?
When I was sitting, I was still following.
No, they said it's great. Even Adegas.
Yeah.
They said it's great. That means one driver will come back and pick you. After I drop all of it, you should not forget me. All my gadgets. This thing is right now. I'm still videoing. Boss.
Austin, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm kidding here. People commended it. They said it's good. I'm still recording. The recording goes to YouTube and it's recorded in HD. That's the advantage of that. Sorry.